Yeah, man. I don't know what kind of shit Pulev was on, but he was on something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. He tried to psych himself up for the fight, you know, and he fell in love with his power. I'll get to the fight a little bit, but first of all, as y'all can see, I made a prediction on this Instagram page, FTC_boxing. I said AJ stoppage between rounds 7 and 9. Pulev is damn near 40 and will fade in the later rounds. Obviously, I called it. I got it right, and they say I called it. So yeah, you know, I got the prediction right, and I don't always get stuff right, but it was dope to see that you know, I got the right call out, and AJ got the victory from a ninth round stoppage with a devastating right hand. But yeah, let's talk about the fight, man. The fight overall was dope. Let's talk about the whole entire fight. As far as the intro and all that stuff, right, with AJ, I find it interesting that he did his own intro. the ring walkout. He did his own intro before the fight started. It was like, that's a little bit, I was thinking like, that's a little bit theatrical. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the Zone, because I was watching the fight on my phone because I was out yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch it on my new 86-inch TV I got. But I watched it on my phone on the Zone. Quality was great. I had no lagging issues at all, so it was dope. But yeah, man, you know, interesting that he did his own intro. AJ did. And the fact that they actually had a crowd there was also interesting as well. I really hope they did proper testing before and after people, you know, got in the building. Like they tested people before they got in the building and after they got in the building, right? So I hope they did that, you know, just to make sure that, you know, the virus didn't spread. But yeah, man. So as far as the fight, the first 2 rounds, right, with Pulev and AJ, obviously the first 2 rounds were filling out rounds, and what I always say is, and I get this from Mayweather, you know, what you want to do against your opponent, right? As a boxer, not a fighter, it's a difference. What you want to do with your opponent, you want to establish 3 things. You want to get their timing, right? Their rhythm, and their distance, right? Timing, rhythm, and distance. You got to study that. And it may take a fighter, you know, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 1 round. But that's what they were doing in the first couple rounds, especially with AJ. He was trying to establish timing, distance, and rhythm versus Pulev. So that's what you saw in the first 2 rounds. And then in round 3, that's when you saw the couple of knockdowns. Now, round 3 was interesting because of the fact that Pulev got caught with the uppercut. I believe AJ set Pulev up with a right hand, a pull counter or something like that, and then followed up with an uppercut. And that's how he was able to knock down Pulev in the 3rd round. But Pulev got knocked on a couple times. But let's talk about the fact that when Pulev got knocked down the other time, he had his back turned and he was walking away from AJ. That right there basically indicates, that's an unwritten rule in boxing, where if you have your back turned against somebody, that means you quit. You don't want to fight no more. The referee wasn't doing a goddamn thing. You know, Pulev was doing a lot of crazy shit, like rabbit punches behind the head, and he got no warning, no nothing about that. So Pulev was able to get away with a lot of rabbit punches. I noticed a lot of fighters do that. Like Ruiz was doing that too. Ruiz was doing a lot of rabbit punches, both fights, behind the head and shit like that. So it really happens to fighters who are shorter, who are shorter than AJ. They do these rabbit punches behind the head a lot with AJ. Try to get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what Ruiz did the first time. You know what I'm saying? Their first fight. People forget. You know, Joshua didn't get knocked out by an uppercut or a chin shot. He got knocked out because he got hit right here. Equilibrium with Ruiz. That's how he got knocked down and never recovered. So Pulev was trying to do the same thing with these rabbit punches But like I said, Pulev was able to get away with it because the ref wasn't calling that shit. So that was interesting. So yeah, like I said, the round 3, AJ set him up, did the uppercut. Another thing about AJ is that he was like really, he fell in love with the uppercut during the fight. I understand that was his money shot and he was able to land, but he was throwing the uppercut a lot. He wasn't really trying to set him up after the first couple knockdowns in round 3, right? I wanted to see AJ do more body work. He was doing a lot. He was doing a few punches, a few jabs to the body during the fight. He should have did that more to set up the right hand. To set up the right hand or to pivot and then have Pulev rush in and then finish him off with an uppercut, stuff like that, right? I wanted to see, AJ do more body work. Another thing that I was impressed with the fight was I love AJ's defense. His movement was great. His movement was just A1 to me. Like, he was pivoting, he was rolling punches, he was slipping punches. You know what I'm saying? He was doing pull counter and stuff like that. His defense was A1. Like, anytime that Pulev would throw a right hand or land a right hand, every right hand that landed on AJ was rolled. It wasn't a flush shot. It was rolled. So he can anticipate punches and roll those punches. When Pulev tried to cut off the ring in certain situations and AJ was in the corner, he would pivot and circle out of there. You know what I'm saying? So he has good ring awareness, generalship. So yeah, his defense was A1, man. I believe that Mayweather was talking to him before the fight. That's why Mayweather showed up in person. Mayweather has a lot of interest in Joshua. I'll talk about it a little bit later. But in the later rounds, like I said, my prediction, I said he'll be stopped between rounds 7 and 9. After the few knockdowns in rounds 3 and all that, AJ was actually tired. AJ got tired, so he coasted rounds between rounds 4 and 6. He coasted. He took those rounds off. Even though he took those rounds off, he still won those rounds. I mean, if anybody was scoring the fight, you could probably give Pulev one round, which is round 7, I believe. But I really had AJ shutting him off, like completely winning no rounds with Pulev. Pulev won no rounds to me. But if you want to give him one round, I'll give him probably round 7, right? But yeah, like I said, AJ, he kind of shot his load after round 3 and took a few rounds off. So he got tired. And he has to be cognizant of that when he's fighting guys like Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to take advantage of that, man. After he recovered, obviously he tried to go for the knockout again between rounds 7 and 9. And in rounds 9, he went for the uppercut again. Got him up out of there. Pulev got back up, and then AJ finished him off with a devastating right hand. He led with a jab that didn't land, but the jab, which is a measuring punch, to throw the right hand and got him up out of there. That was a highlight reel knockout. I like that knockout. But overall, good fight. I like the fight. Like I said, what the key takeaways for me, as far as what I liked from AJ, was his defense. And the other key takeaways is that AJ still needs to work. He still needs to work on his conditioning. After he throws a lot of punches, he gets tired very quickly, and he needs to do more body work. Continue to jab to the body, do more body work. Stuff like that. AJ was kind of fighting like a hybrid style between the Ruiz fight and, fighting people like Dillian White. He was kind of fighting with those two styles. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. And as far as like after the fight, it was interesting to see that AJ, as soon as the fight was over, like immediately he went out the ring to talk to Mayweather. Right? That was interesting because Mayweather is not a lot of times you see Mayweather go out to see a fight in person. You know what I'm saying? And it was for a guy that's so close knit to Al Heyman and PBC. You didn't see him out there with you didn't see him out there to see Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. You didn't see Mayweather out there to support his guy Badu Jack when he fought on the undercard with Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. You didn't see him out there, but you saw him out there in person with AJ. So I found that very interesting. But yeah, man. Overall, I really like the fight. I actually like the whole entire undercard as well. Undercard was dope as well. All UK fighters, so it was dope. The Zone put on a good card, man. I like the card. So anyway, fam, those are my thoughts on that, man. Leave your comments down below. It's been a while since I uploaded a video. I try to be more consistent, family. But leave your comments down below. GMOG Sports TV. You already know what it is. Signing out. Peace.